When we think about truth and reconciliation, it generally refers to a process of acknowledging past harms, uncovering truths about injustice, and working towards healing and systemic change. Back in 2015, there was a commission done, and a lot of calls to action came through, 94 to be exact. And so many of those calls to action still have not been addressed almost a decade later. And so really, when we raise these flags, we're kind of highlighting the fact that this is still an ongoing reality. There are still many individuals who have not found their families. There are still many children that are missing that we haven't been able to locate. And so this day, this month in general, is really a way to highlight some of those realities.
This flag is not just fabric on a pole, it's a symbol of truth, loss, and resilience.
For anyone who's aware of First Nations relationships, reserves, residential schools, missing children, I think for anyone it should mean something, that people who lived here for generations were not treated fairly. And that's not good. No matter what your background is, no matter how it happened, that's not okay. I think, especially in the context, sometimes I'm trying to remind people, like, as settlers who came here, these were the people who were here before us and welcomed us. They said, sure, yeah. We'll share this with you. Let's sign a treaty. We'll share it with you. They didn't have to, but they did. So, I mean, that's a pretty generous community. I think that's a generosity of spirit. As I said in my comments here earlier today, there's a burden for all of us to carry here in the context of truth and reconciliation. I think one side is carrying an unfair portion of the burden even today. And I think we should look at that ourselves and say, I think that should mean something to us. We need to figure out a way to carry more of this burden.
Today we announce and we celebrate potential. We celebrate talent, all this talent in the room. A $3.5 million announcement for the Polaris Initiative carried out on behalf of TechAlliane in partnership with them, but it's from the federal government, of course. Congratulations to everyone in the room. FedDev looked at this, it stood out, it was a no-brainer, frankly.
A historic $3.5 million investment by FedDev Ontario is truly a moonshot moment for London, and when I think about the Southwestern Ontario Innovation Corridor, there's an awful lot that's in front of us as far as keeping the momentum going. This funding will forge sustainable growth for Canadian startups and hypergrowth scale-ups who choose to build in the Greater London area. So Polaris is a game-changing initiative designed to fuel innovation capacity of leading-edge companies and a declaration of TechAlliance's ongoing commitment to a connected, powerful, and globally competitive region.
It's a very exciting day, not only for the City of London, but for Middlesex County and the surrounding counties. TechAlliance will be able to use this money to invest in companies, in entrepreneurs, in many different sectors, and in the ag sector, which of course is such a driving economic force in Middlesex County.
Rhinestone Blends is lucky to work with a TechAlliance for the IDEA Fund. And with that, we have a grant that assists us to grow and scale. So we joined the program, we applied, and not only is it through funding, but the absolute support and the guidance that TechAlliance provides a growing company. It's just so important.
Well, we had to bid for to host the event, and we knew the Grand Slam was here, and we could do a great job showing Curling Canada what St. Thomas Curling Club and the City of St. Thomas can do. And we have a hotel. The Holiday Inn helps us as well because we can put the players and officials up there. So it all came together, and we were lucky enough to win the bid. So we'll be hosting the Canadian Club Curling Championship in November of 2026, which will bring 14 men's teams from across every province and territory, and 14 women's teams from every province and territory. We see the excitement in the volunteers and how happy they are, and they're saying when's the next event, and now we can say November of 2026. We might not do it so quickly all the time, but definitely we want this to become a stop that curling championships around Canada come here once in a while.
So on September 10th, our IT department became aware of unusual activity. They identified it very quickly that something was there that shouldn't be there. So we immediately contracted outside cybersecurity experts. Earlier this week, we identified that there was a possibility that current and past employees' personal data may have been made available. There's almost 1,000 current employees. By the time you go back to previous employees, there's almost 4,000. So we can't really go through that and analyze who was and who wasn't, and what exactly was and what exactly wasn't. As soon as we identified that it was a possibility, we decided that we had an obligation to notify those residents. Even though there's somewhat of a risk in putting that out there, that we're also telling the threat actor that we know things. But we felt the obligation to notify people outweighed that. As well as telling, we offered current and past employees, we're offering them credit monitoring and identity protection free from the county for a year. But I think this is a reality now in 2025 and going forward, is that unfortunately bad people are going to do bad things, and we all have to be as prepared as we can be for that. And even then, even when like our IT group identified this so quickly, there's going to be some amount of damage, and that's going to be a question then of how you manage that.
Saturday, October the 18th, doors open at 9 o'clock at the Caradoc Community Centre in Mount Bridges. And it's all about resilient leadership and hoping that women who either have a leadership role in the community or are looking to take on a leadership role will attend the event. So our keynote speaker, we're really happy to say, is Ontario Liberal leader Bonnie Crombie. And certainly she can speak to resilient leadership. She certainly had her challenges, but she's had an incredible career in public service. And I think she has a story to tell that women will understand and likely see themselves in. Democracy only works when the table is inclusive, and women need to be part of that. It has been proven when women are part of governance tables, you make more thoughtful decisions, you make more thoughtful choices as to how your communities run, and women need to be part of it. There's a statistic out there that women have to be asked 7 to 8 times to take on a role within their community, whereas a man usually only has to be asked once. So we need to encourage women that they've got a voice and that they need to be part of the decisions that shape their community. The website that they want to visit is the Jean Collective, and that's Jean, Jean, collective.ca. And all the information to sign up and register is there, or they can search us through Eventbrite, of course. Tickets are $35. We do ask for pre-registration. If you've ever thought that you have a voice, that you've got something to add to your community, this event is for you.
Members of the Middlesex County OPP have been investigating similar frauds where victims invested in certain financial programs after watching videos on popular social media platforms, believed to be from celebrities and politicians promoting these opportunities. They're being impersonated using artificial intelligence. Currently, we're investigating 2 in Middlesex County. One was in Thames Centre, one was in Southwest Middlesex. And, one victim's lost $28,000 and the other one just under $4,000. These videos they're really well done. There are a few cues that you could look for. Maybe the video is altered. Maybe the voice or the sound isn't quite matching up with the mouth. A lot of things look so real and they're not. Assume it's fake until you can prove that it's not. Use caution when investing. Reach out to family, friends, where it looks to be a good opportunity. Reach out to somebody. Slow it down. Slow it down. If you're going to invest, you don't have to invest immediately. Reach out to us, especially if there's a financial loss. If you're just reporting a fraud, then you're best to go to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, report it there, and they'll just add it to their database. If you have been a victim of fraud, please know you're not alone. We have, I don't even know how many frauds we're currently investigating. There's many, many, many victims out there, and the age ranges are from teenager up to our senior population. So can it be embarrassing? Absolutely it can, but you're not alone.